is what he normally does. Awesome. So, hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good to see you. Mike is on an airplane. Hey, Mike Hinky. Michael Huey is on an airplane. But knowing him, I expect him to jump on because he usually gets the Wi-Fi. But anyways, we do have a guest tonight. There was kind of a little miscommunication. Normally he's on the Eastern time zone, but he's in Mountain time zone and didn't quite think about that conversion. So he will be here probably closer towards the end of the meeting. So it's all good. That's cool. Let me do a mute all. How do I, there we go, mute all. Current and good, awesome. So anyways, today I just basically wanted to go through some quote unquote back to the basics, kind of in the the beginning kind of stuff. And oops, I got to share my screen before I pull up my PowerPoint. Share my desktop. Somebody just did something with the chat, but I just missed it. Chat. Where'd the chat box go? Bear with me. Happy St. Patrick's Day. There you go. Yes. And actually, as you can see, let me move this over for a moment. Share. That is, oops. No, not share. Present. What I have. Happy St. Patty's Day. And I even used a green color.
Very good.
Yeah, right? And so anyways, just for recording purposes or whatever, I'm Lisa Huey, my husband Michael, and I were Pro 7s with LifeVantage, and this is our now Sunday night leadership call, and St. Patrick's Day, woohoo! So let's on here. So some announcements. What we are doing is we spent quite a bit of time putting together a distributor education email sequence and a customer education email sequence. It is going to all customers, whether they are still active or not, within the last 2 years from our entire downline organization. And it's going to be like a product of the month kind of a thing, but actually it'll probably be every 2 weeks. I haven't officially sent that one out to customers. I just got the whole distributor one up and running. And the distributor education emails went to all of our downline distributors. I figured they've got the option to unsubscribe if necessary, if they want. Our hopes is to get people to re-engage, kind of build that I really wasn't quite trained right, and it sort of, help kind of correct some of that and just really get to what we've been taught from the beginning. Yes, there's multiple tools, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, but everything always revolves around the same principle. And so hopefully, instead of just having I had all this education inside like a Google Drive, and I'd send them an email welcome letter with a link to the Google Drive and told them to go through it in this particular order. So now they're actually going to get emails with this particular order. And in the footer, for those people who might want to, quote, jump ahead, they'll have the link for the whole Google Drive as well in the footer. So hopefully that'll be something that everybody finds very helpful. I am open to any kind of feedback, so when you get it, I should have gotten it already. And if not, then I need to make sure we have your email because I took all the emails right out of our back office. So anyways, if there's any kind of constructive criticism, not complaints, but constructive criticism, I'm totally open and look forward to, revising it as necessary. Within the body of these emails is going to be videos, not just a link to the videos, but the actual videos, and then trainings as well with the links. Encouraging the distributors to really take advantage of the free 14-day LV coaching trial. It's funny, Stacy and I were just talking about that at the beginning here. lvcoaching.com, even if they don't want to sign up for LV coaching, that first 14-day free trial, I think, was very pertinent and powerful information, simple step-by-step how to get started, what to do to be successful, how to even navigate the back office. And so old and new, quote unquote, distributors for that, I really encourage. Oh, I got to pay attention to when Jason jumps on too. I got to make sure I do that. Hopefully he'll be able to get on soon.
I'm already here, Miss.
Whoa, dude, you want to take it away?
Well, you got announcements. I'm just chilling out. I'm learning about you guys, so I'm all ready.
Cool. Well, I'll go through the announcements and then I will leave it and let you take over. Sweet. So I just wanted to really welcome and have our team. I want to try to be more, what's the word? Celebratory with our teams. We got new team members since January or the very end of December. I put their names up there: Julia, Lexi, Brian, Evan, Dr. Christian and Linda Rank, Christina Johnson, Christopher Courtney, and Alyssa Fortner. So I just really wanted to welcome them. I posted it in our Freedom Fighters Facebook page. And then rank advancements. Quite a few of the same people hit Pro 1, from there as well. So I wanted to congratulate them and publicly acknowledge them with like Evan and Julia, Mitchell, Lexi. It was funny because Evan didn't even realize it. He sends me a photo of his email saying, this is in the mail, no charge to it. He's like, it says PIN Pro 1 or something. He's like, what is this? So I thought it was kind of cool that, it's like, dude, you hit a rank, you're official. So anyways, that was pretty cool. Let me get out of here and zip down to this slide here. And so we are excited to be able to have Jason Kokenzie as our guest here. He's an Elite Pro 8 with LifeVantage. He's first a Christian, a loving husband and father, a successful and excited entrepreneur. And let me stop share. And Jason, before I continue to read your bio, I'm going to try to make you a co-host. So that way, if you want to share your screen, you can. Jason's also been a pastor for several years. He naturally seeks to help others in their areas of need. He learned about network marketing industry back in the early 2000s, but after investing a lot of time and money, resources into the industry, but had no return on his investment, lost all interest in the industry until, that big old until, right? Until December of 2010, when the amazing opportunity of LifeVantage was placed in his lap. In under 3.5 years, he and his wife, Stacy, became elite distributors in LifeVantage, and both he and his wife now have elite positions. We're talking 2 in less than 4 years. They got 4 beautiful children who also love LifeVantage. They get to stay at home, be a stay-at-home mom and dad. And even though they're originally from Colorado, they now reside in Atlanta, but apparently he's in Colorado at the moment again. So thank you. Let's give Jason an amazing welcome. Yay. And take it away.
Thank you. No, I wasn't hitting the button right there, but awesome.
There you go.
Guys. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for allowing me to be on here tonight. And I see some familiar faces there on the screen, so it's good to see some people that we know for sure. But welcome to everybody. Glad that I could be on here today. And yes, I am in Colorado because I was teaching the LVA here in Denver this last week and had a great time out there. And they had their largest attendance at the Denver LVA in months. So that was
awesome. Actually, my best friend Julia was there.
Okay, cool.
I'm like, I should have told her to go up and introduce herself.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, it was good time. So I had a lot of fun out there. So yeah, this has just happened to be my turn to fly out to Denver and do this LVA. And I know that Mike was out at Bangor, Maine. And
correct. Yep, Stacy was there with him.
Yeah, I got to do that one out in November, and I really enjoyed that one. So, but cool. Well, guys, I get the privilege of telling you a little bit about my story, and then I am here to kind of teach you anything and everything that I can in the brief time that we have here. I'm going to give you how to do everything in like 30 minutes. I mean, how to be all elite distributors in 30 minutes. Can we handle that? Okay. All right. I always like being raw and real, guys. General knowledge is great, but isn't it good to know the nuts and bolts how to do stuff too? But let me go back to my story. So we actually, we've been around this company since January 1st of 2011. We were introduced to this company in December 2010 because of my wife. She has all kinds of health issues: chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, Epstein-Barr virus, severely celiac. My wife, every single day, she felt like she had the flu, constantly sick, constantly achy, always tired, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And this is how she was when I was dating her. This is how she was when I was first married to her. And several years later, we were introduced from this to this company from somebody, frankly, we didn't even know. And they heard through the grapevine about my wife's health issues and introduced this to us. And the very first day that they introduced to us, I'll be honest with you, I love her to death now, but she did a terrible job of trying to explain what Protandim NRF2 did. That's the only product that we had back in the day. Long story short, she basically said it was something that increases antioxidants and gets rid of free radicals, and that's about where she left it. She didn't even show the ABC prime time. And so I was like, what's different between this and every other product? And so we told her no. But for whatever reason, my wife saw something that I didn't see. And maybe it's women's intuition. Maybe she's smarter than me. Probably both, guys. Probably both. I'm just going to be honest.
That's what I was going to say.
So we jumped in. We actually jumped. Well, let me back up. We didn't jump in. She jumped in. Okay. January 1st, 2011. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't know that this was a network marketing company because like I told you, the lady who introduced us didn't say anything about network marketing. My wife, when she went and the second time around to go learn about this, just told me about the ABC Primetime. She was so excited that I don't know if she forgot to tell me it was network marketing or maybe she didn't want to tell me it was network marketing. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I saw the ABC Primetime. Guys, I'm a certified herbalist. I got my certification as an herbalist back in 2000. Oh, I don't even know it, 2008. So I've had this certification as an herbalist for quite a while. So guys, in the alternative healthcare industry, the nutraceutical industry, you don't see ABC Primetimes ever, okay? And so when my wife called me and said, Jason, you've got to see this ABC Primetime, I was floored. I was absolutely floored, and I told her you could take the product. We saw amazing results within a couple of weeks with my wife's life. I mean, just amazing results. I'm not going to get into all that story, okay? Because we're going to talk business tonight, not necessarily product story. But anyway, my wife at the end of December said, hey, do you mind if I do this business? I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I mean, since I was a little kid, anything I could flip for $5, guys, I would, right? Maybe some of you are the same way I was. But I said to my wife, I said, what business? I didn't know what she was talking about. I mean, I legitimately had no clue on earth what she was talking about. And she said, LifeVantage. I said, LifeVantage? I said, are you telling me this is a network marketing company? So guys, here's the thing. I had two very opposite emotions at that time. Extreme happiness and extreme anger. Okay? Happiness because my wife was feeling good. Anger because this is network marketing. And guys, going back to when I first got married, this is why I was so upset. We joined a network marketing company when I first got married. I love the idea of residual income. I do like the idea. I've always loved the idea of network marketing, but I just didn't think it worked. We joined a network marketing company. It was a privately held company. They told us they had $20 million in the bank. 6 months later, we got an email saying we're bankrupt and we're closing our doors. That made me a little mad. Not mad enough because I was only in it 6 months, and so I didn't really have a whole lot invested into it. I did. Time, and yes, there was certainly money, but it wasn't like I lost so many thousands and thousands of dollars that it made me so upset. So guys, I was a sucker for network marketing. 2 weeks later, okay, 2 weeks later, I joined another network marketing company. All right. I love our residual income. I love the idea of network marketing, but my upline stole my prospects, literally stole them right out from underneath me. Okay. Then I got ticked off at network marketing, right? And I told my wife, I said, this is 2 occasions within a 7-month period of time. I will never, ever, ever do network marketing again. It is a scam. It does not work. Well, here I am on the screen because, as Melissa just said, until, okay? That until was really because my wife, right? She started seeing a lot of amazing results within a couple weeks' time. My wife is not a salesperson. She is an introvert, okay? She joined January 1st, 2011. She doubled our investment the first month. The second month, February of 2011, she doubled our investment again, and I was confused. I asked her, what exactly are we selling here, right? Are we selling something that's legal or illegal? Because I'm kind of confused at this present time and moment because I didn't think network marketing worked. And so she says, Jason, this is working. And I said, you got to tell me something. Is this something that you really think can truly bring in residual income, that can really do what these people say that network marketing can do? And she says, Jason, I absolutely believe so. Now, my wife's not super sarcastic. Now, the older we get, the more she hangs around me, the more sarcastic she's been getting. I kind of noticed this, okay? That's my fault, not her fault, okay? But she was super serious. She said, Jason, I really do think this is something that can happen. So I jumped in, and I put that in air quotes, guys. You see that, right? I put that in air quotes. That means I jumped in as in I supported her, but I didn't do anything with it, okay? And by supporting her, as I said, yeah, you got this. And when we have home meetings, I will sit in the back of the room as far as away as if I can. And this is little to me, guys. Back at the time, I watched a lot of sports. I don't watch a whole lot of sports anymore. I would sit on my phone in the very back of the room watching ESPN. That was my support, guys. Okay. Now, a few months later, we started making a pretty good income from it. And I looked at my wife again. I said, what is going on? 18 months later, we replaced our income from what I was doing as a certified herbalist. And I was making pretty good money in it, guys, right? Not great, but it was good. And so we looked at each other at the end of that 18 months and said, what next? Well, we looked at our bank accounts. We said, great, we're getting residual income, but what we don't have is retirement. We don't have retirement. And so obviously we started going down that path. I didn't know at the time, guys. I didn't know at the time. They didn't tell us when we first jumped in this business 8 years ago that you could sign up 2 positions. They didn't say that the spouse can have 1 position and your enroller can enroll the 2nd position. We didn't know that. That was not something they taught us at all. Well, we found out 2.5 years later that they could do that. I was mad because I was like, if I would have known that, I would have done that 2.5 years ago. I would have got 2 positions. So I let my anger go a little bit longer, so we decided to roll my position at 4-year mark. We were at Pro 7. My wife's position hit Pro 7, okay? Then my position, we enrolled Pro 8, or it's the Pro 8 position. We enrolled that January 1st, 2015, literally 4 years to the date. And that's actually the business that's Pro 8 in this company. And so I feel like I have a pretty interesting perspective of this business. Here's the reason why. My wife's business, of which I finally did actually jump in and start helping her, like actually helping her, guys, like not just sitting in the back of the room eating Oreos, watching my wife do her thing, right? Wasn't doing that, okay? I actually started inviting people. We started enrolling people myself. We did that all knee-to-knee, home meetings, coffee shop meetings, the whole 9 yards of what you would think is traditional business. However, my position, I have done 85% social media. My Pro 8 position, I've done 85% social media. Now, I'm going to be very frank and honest with you. So this is going to be my teaching nugget that I get asked literally every single day, and I've already been asked several times today, can you teach our group on social media? Okay. So here's the deal. Yes and no. I can. I will. I'll give you some nuggets. I'll help you out. But this is what I want you guys all to know. Okay. That is this. Facebook is great. Social media is awesome. And it can do some really, really, really amazing things. But let me ask you a question. What if social media went away? What if Facebook disappeared? You're saying, oh, Jason, that can't happen. Facebook won't go away. That is here to stay. Well, I can literally pull up an article that was written. Let me get to it real quick. I'm going to read this date for you. I'm going to show it on my screen right here because this was sent to you probably can't see that. Maybe you can. Well, yeah, there you go. What does that say? March 15th, 2019. 2 days ago, 2 of the top executives from Facebook left. Mark Zuckerberg is talking about taking Facebook as we know it and making it mostly a messenger-oriented social media application. So what now? For those of you who think social media is the answer, I'm going to tell you something. Social media is a tool. It is not the answer. And I want everybody to understand this. So here's what I'm going to say this. If Facebook didn't exist, I could still make this business happen. I use Facebook because it's there right now. And I will continue to use Facebook until, and it's possible, and I'm going to say even more now as of 2 days ago, it's more possible than ever for Facebook social media to go away as we know it. Who does Facebook own? They also own Instagram. They also own WhatsApp. So if Facebook's gone, guess what else is going to be gone? Right? So guys, look, Facebook is powerful. Notice I'm saying Facebook more than any other social media platform is because I believe that Facebook is the best platform to have social media business. But here's the thing, guys. You have to understand something. Don't focus your business entirely on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you something as well. I hear all the time from these social media marketing gurus, they say, I build my business 100% on social media. I'm going to tell you something. That's not true. That's true. What's not true about it is that they still do go to events. They still do go and meet their team and build relationships outside the social media world. And I'm going to tell you something. Social media is a great place, but if you really want to build this business, we all understand something. Network marketing is a people-based business, and I know that the best way to build this business is to be in front of a person's face in real life and not behind a screen, okay? So I want to give that foundation before we give you some nuggets, okay? Before we give you some nuggets, I want to give you that foundation.
That's
No
good.
matter what avenue we go with Facebook, no matter what avenue we go with prospecting, you can get prospects from multiple different avenues, whether it's at a coffee shop, whether it's at a grocery store, whether it's a waiter or waitress, or whether it's on social media. I don't care how you get the prospect. It's what you do with the prospect after that that really makes the point, right? We have a system in LifeVantage that's what we try to plug them into. Right? What's a system? You've heard this. If you've been in this company for like 4 months, you've heard this numerous times. If you've been in this business longer, then yeah, it's certainly something you've heard. So what's the system? Guys, do 15 presentations or more a month. You've ever heard this before? Right? I see people laughing because like, yeah, I probably hear this every single day, right? So it's 15 presentations or more a month. A $10 meeting is non-negotiable. Do what you say you're going to do and repeat, right? That's what we do over and over and over and over and over. And I don't care, again, whether it's social media or whether it's outside, that's what we do. That's what we teach our team, whether they're Facebook peeps or whether they're their coffee shop peeps. I don't care, okay? The key is we've got to fit them in that system in order for that to happen. Now, social media is the hot topic. So I'm going to address social media. I'm going to tell you how I do it. But I want to give you this warning as well. Okay, now I see some of your beautiful faces. I don't see all of your beautiful faces, okay? So here's the deal, guys, all right? How many of you want to make a 6-digit business in LifeVantage? How many of you want to be elite? Really? 2 of you? Okay, there's more hands. I see them all now. I saw like 1, then 2, and I'm like, seriously? Okay, all right, so all of you are in, at least the ones I can see you, you're all in. So let me just say this. We also say something else in this business a lot, and it is this, okay? It doesn't matter what works. It only matters what duplicates. And let me just tell you something. It's the same thing in social media. Social media works, but we've got a duplicable system in social media. So here's the thing. If you're going to teach social media, don't you want your team to be able to do social media as well? Don't you want them to be effective with it as well? So I give this illustration to help you understand something. Now, some of you have your hands raised. Let's go ahead and put those hands down because I'm going to ask you a question here in just a second that's going to need you to raise your hand in a second. How many of you on here absolutely love doing Facebook Lives? All right. Stacy, kind of. Fred, that would look like a kind of too. All right. I see a lot of kind ofs, but I don't see any love. Okay. I don't see any of that.
That would be Michael Huey. Love,
Right.
love.
Yeah. So Michael would do that, and I agree. I've seen Michael do a lot. All right. So I do see some people raising their hands saying, that's me. I like it. Okay, but here's the thing. The majority of your team doesn't like doing Facebook Lives. In fact, some people hate doing Facebook Lives. So if you teach social media from a perspective of you've got to be on Facebook Live and you've got to do this and you've got to do this 15 times a day in order to be awesome in social media, that's the way to run this business in social media to do it correctly. Let me just tell you something. That's not true. If any of you are friends with me on Facebook, guess what? You'll see me do a Facebook Live about once every 4 months. And I have a 6-figure business because of my social media. Here's the reason why. I've been doing social media for quite a while now. I knew that if I was going to make this effective for me, I also had to learn a system that was effective for my team as well. So I had to make a duplicable system that worked for everybody, not just for me. Does that make sense? So guys, I don't mind doing Facebook Lives. I don't love Facebook Lives, but I don't mind doing them, okay? But I'll tell you, there's people in my business. You want to know something funny? There's a girl on my team, okay? There's a girl on my team who I prospected via social media and is now in my business. She's my personally enrolled. For months, she would never come on a Zoom call with her screen on. I didn't know what she looked like for months. Now, she's already in the business. She never even turned her microphone on. Truthfully, I didn't even know she was a girl. Her name said she was a girl, but I really didn't know that. Okay, I'm being serious with you. Never heard her voice, never saw what she looked like. She said to me one day, Jason, I've got a prospect. Can you and I and this person do a Zoom call together? Yeah, we can. Well, we've done this before. We've done these things. And so what she did is she chat-botted the box, the introduction of, hey, Jason, this is Sally. Sally, this is Jason. Jason's going to talk with you. She chat-boxed it, okay? Right? You're saying that. You're right. You're seeing what's going on here. This girl is such an introvert that she doesn't even want to talk on Zoom. Problem, right? A few weeks later, she says, Jason, can you do the Zoom call with me and so-and-so? I said, fine. All right, we've done it before. She forgot to turn her camera off, and for about 5 seconds, I finally got to see what she looked like, and yes, she is a woman, and yes, she does exist, okay? So let me ask you something. Do you think I could probably convince her that doing Facebook Lives every single day is probably a good thing? No, don't. And you know what was funny? I happened to be doing that on my phone, and I quickly screenshotted that, and I went to my wife. I said, I know what she looks like. She's here, you know? And so there you go, right? So guys, it doesn't matter what works. It matters what duplicates. And so in this scenario, same thing with social media, guys. We've got to have a duplicable system in what we do. How many of you before LifeVantage were just absolutely in love with alternative healthcare nutraceutical products? How many of you were absolutely in love with it? Anybody? Okay, we have a few. How many of you could have cared less before this business started? Okay, so I see a few of your hands. Here's the deal, guys. I can't put my passion and impose it on other people. it's not that I can't talk about it, but I can't keep pushing on people, because if I'm in a presentation and my passion is nutraceutical industry, there's going to be some people in that room that are going to be bored stiff because of it. You see where I'm coming from? So this whole business is about duplication, right? So I want to encourage every single person here. We're going to get to social media nuggets here in just a second, but I want to encourage every single person on here, okay, to take a look at how you present, how you invite, and you have to ask yourself, what is necessary in my presentation? What is necessary in my invitation? Understand this, guys, you are movie trailers, you are not the movie. Okay, what does that mean? Well, have you ever watched a movie trailer? You go to the movie theater, you spend $40 on tickets, and the stupid movie trailer ruined it all for you? Don't you hate that? Yeah, I hate it too. See, often in LifeVantage, we're talking to a prospect of us, and guess what we want to do? We want to be the movie. That's not our job. Our job is to intrigue them enough to want them and inspire them to go learn more. So guess what? I don't have to talk about all the science of these products. I have to give them enough vision and inspiration that they're going to go do research after this. I have to give them enough vision and inspiration with the business and where the businesses go that they can go study it out. Guys, when I talk about this business in the presentation, I talk about this much, that much on compensation. Why? Because some of you get bored stiff with compensation, don't you? Some of you like, I could really care less. Well, guess what? There's a lot of your prospects that really could care less. So I need to say enough to intrigue them. That's what a movie trailer is all about, isn't it? I'm sure you've seen movie trailers. You're like, that's a movie I am not going to see, right? But then there's those movie trailers that are so incredibly, amazingly well done that then you go to the movie theater and it was a terrible movie. They did their job, didn't they? They did their job. That's what your job is to do. Well, we don't have a terrible movie. We got a fantastic movie, but we got to get them to see it. Okay? Does that make sense? Guys, same thing with social media. I want to encourage you with that whole thing as well. Got to do it duplicates, not what works. So here's what I do. I do all of my business in groups. In groups, okay? So I have what I call my prospecting group. I have my team group. I just heard that you guys have a team group. That's amazing. That's good. I have a WhatsApp group, and I have my my groups that I am joining that are not my groups, where I look for my prospects. Okay? So let me just go through these real quick. All right? My prospecting group is where I'm giving product testimonials. I'm giving product science. Important, guys, I'm also giving business testimonials and business compensation and business structure and business coaching. Why do I want to do all of that in my prospecting group? Very simple. Because 35% of all customers in our business do become distributors. I notice that a lot in the groups that I'm a part of that are outside of my organization, all I see is testimonial, 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 testimonial. Oh, here's a promo on a product. Here's a promo on a product. Testimonial, testimonial. Oh, here's a cool science. Testimonial, testimonial. And you know what they're not seeing in that group? Nothing about business. Well, guys, you're ruining 35% of your opportunity. Do you see why that's important, right? So, guys, use your prospecting groups for the opportunity as well as the product. Now, I'm going to say something to you. I know that my way is not the only way. In fact, Lisa just said something very similar to that at the very beginning. There's many ways to skin a cat. There's many ways to skin a cat in social media too. So I'm going to tell you what works for me. My number one goal is not to be scammy and spammy on social media. Okay? So here's the deal, guys. I post about 1 or 2 posts in that group a day. That's it. 1 or 2 posts a day, because people don't want to have their Facebook profile bombarded with products and sales pitches. They don't. I unfollow people that do that. And I know, and I'm in the industry, okay? I'm in the industry and I unfollow people. What I want to do is I want to give value to people and not bombard them with it, right? So that's what the prospect group is. Now I'm going to say something, and I want you to understand this. You always need to stay in control of your business, just as much on social media as you do anywhere else. In fact, in my opinion, even more so on social media. What I see a lot of times is people bring a prospect, they invite a prospect into those groups, and they hope that group is going to convert them to be a prospect, to a distributor, and or a customer. Guys, I'm going to give you my rule of thumb. I always want to stay in control of my business. None of my prospects ever get in my prospecting group unless they've seen a full presentation. Okay? Why do I expect little testimonials here and there to educate these people on what they need to hear? You know what I'm doing? I'm ruining the opportunity for them. Because when I throw them in that group without a full presentation, here's the thing, and you need to listen to this. This is super important. They're getting 3% information and they're making a 100% decision. I don't want them to do that, right? I want to let them hear everything. So I need to make sure that they actually get to a presentation where they hear a 100% presentation so they can make a 100% decision. See the difference there? That's a big difference. So you're saying, well, they may say no. Well, they may say no either way. That's why we can't be attached to the results, right? We got to be doing the behaviors, whether it's inside of social media or outside of social media. Don't you want to sit down with your prospects and give them a full presentation? All right? So we got to be careful. Even outside of social media, one of the habits that we have is we start chatting with these people about social media, and this is what's going on, okay? Or not, excuse me, let me back up. We're not chatting about social media, we're chatting about LifeVantage. We want to invite them to a presentation, but what we do is during that invitation, we start spewing all over them all the information. And they're walking away from the invitation saying, I don't know what in the world that was all about, but I don't want anything to do with it, right? Because again, we gave 3% information. Really, we wanted to get them to that 100% presentation, right? Does that make sense to everybody? You see where I'm coming from, right? So I always teach my teams that we've got to be in a hurry with what we're doing. Put yourself up against the wall saying, I got to get out of this invitation. I got to be out of here as quickly as I possibly can. So what I teach my new prospects is you've got to get on and off of your invitation within a minute or less. So let's say you do a phone call. You've got to get on that phone call and say, hey, Mike, thank you for taking my phone call. How are you? Great, wonderful. Hey, listen, I can't talk long. I'm walking to work right now. I've got 2 minutes to be in work. So I've got to get going here, but I'm curious, what are you doing Thursday night at 7 o'clock? You know what that does? First of all, there's an excitement there, but it also lets them know that you're busy and you're in a hurry. The real important thing about all of this is it doesn't allow you to vomit the information on the person because they don't want you to be late at work, do they? Well, hopefully they don't, right? Hopefully they don't. Most people don't. They care about you. And so that's what we do. We make it quick. We make it to the possible, quickly as possible. Now, what about social media? Okay, guys, so here's how I market in social media. I market in social media like this. I go to groups of things that interest me. It could be whatever, guys. It could be anything from crocheting to underwater basket weaving to playing the guitar to whatever. Now, those are not all things I like. I'm just giving you illustrations, okay? All right. I'm giving you illustrations. So here's the deal, guys. I find groups like that that I know that I personally can add value to. Now, I literally know nothing about underwater basket weaving, so that's not a group I would be joining, okay? But maybe it's fishing, maybe it's hiking, maybe it's whatever it is that you love. I join those groups. And here's a couple key things. First of all, I find a group that's 10,000 people or more. Okay. Second of all, I want to make sure that I'm frequently visiting and giving valuable information that has nothing to do with business, has nothing to do with LifeVantage, and has nothing to do with product. So if it's underwater basket weaving, maybe you found a new technique to make the underwater basket weaving just that much more effective. Okay, you see where I'm coming from, but you're giving value. You're helping out. People are going to ask in that thing, hey, I've got a question about this. How do I do this? How do I do this? And you're saying, well, this is what I've learned in my underwater basket weaving. And you give them some value, right? That's the key, is you're giving them value. Now, I'm probably a member of 50 to 60 groups of all different various interests, okay? Now, frankly, Facebook doesn't show me all 50 groups because of their algorithms, okay? They just don't. But this is what happens without a doubt every single day. Somebody in that group, again, we'll pick on underwater basket weaving, is going to say, this is not underwater basket weaving related, but man, does anybody know of any good side hustles out there? How many of you have ever seen one of those posts before? Right? They're out there, and they're out there every single day. Well, you know what? That's your cue to chime in. Now, you've already given value. Now it's your cue to chime in and to give them what I call a hook statement. Now, what is a hook statement? Hook statement is something to grab their attention, to intrigue them. But it has nothing to do with LifeVantage. It has nothing to do with network marketing. It has nothing to do about product. What it has to do is, are you ready for this? Andy Andrews says this: you got to play the game that no one else knows that they're playing. See, when those particular conversations happens in those Facebook group, everybody just blasts their business. Well, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do this. And all of a sudden it becomes a big mess of information. And you know what it becomes? A massive spam fest of, here's what I do, come join me, right? How many know what I'm talking about? Right? Now, let's play the game that no one else is playing. What's the game that no one else is playing? See, everyone else is down here doing mediocre, average Joe stuff. Now, how many of you want to be average in your business? Nobody's raising their hand, ironically, right? We want to be above average. We want to play the game that nobody else is playing, is up here, right? So these hook statements, instead of giving them a business, I'm giving them an idea that adds value to the conversation, that they're going to say, wow, Jason stood out in that conversation. I'm going to ask him questions. See where I'm coming from? So it might be something to the degree, and I use this one actually quite often. I'm going to give you this exact script. Look, I don't care what you do, but if you're going to do a side hustle, at least focus on residual income, period. That's it. Now, here's the deal, guys. Does everybody always comment or hook themselves to that statement? The answer is no. But here's the thing. There's 1.7 billion people on Facebook, and that same conversation is going to happen 5 more times a day. And you can put that same exact thing 5 more times a day, and somebody or multiple people are going to bite on it and start asking more questions. The key is less is more, and be patient. You got to know the right time. So you're saying, well, is the next statement, how do you do that? Yes, typically. And do you say at that point, LifeVantage? No, that is not what I say. I'll say, well, I build residual income. And again, this is not always the way, but I'll say I build residual income through business systems. And that's my next statement. And then they're going to ask multiple different things. Somebody else might come back and say, well, what's residual income? Well, then that's my next phrase, right? Most people don't even have a clue what residual income is, just so that you know. They don't. So then I explain, there's linear, there's residual. I give 1 or 2 sentences, period, stop. I don't say anymore. And then there's another question. Well, that's so cool. Well, how do you do that? The key is, we don't want to spread all the good news on that comment section, do we? My goal is to get them to Facebook Messenger and ultimately to a Zoom call. So what I typically say in that scenario is, look, guys, I'm not here to blow up this post, which I'm not. That's not what I'm there for. My job is to intrigue them. And so, guys, this is what I say. I'm not here to blow up this post. That was not my intention to blow up this post, which it wasn't. It was not my intention to blow up this post. So I'm not here to continue this conversation. There's just way too much to write out on this post. Is that true? Yep. There's way too much to write on this post. And that's where I leave it. End of story. That's where I leave it. You know what happens? Magic. Because now curiosity kills the cat. You know what they do? They start private messaging me in droves. Sometimes it's 1 person, but sometimes it's 10 people. That's where the magic happens, isn't it? I get them to Messenger, And then they're going to ask the same question. So what is it that you do? That's what they're going to ask in the messenger. And you know what I say at that point? Like I said, I'm not here to spew all of this out. I don't want to write it all out. I hate texting on the phone. It's going to take way too much time, which is true, guys, right? That's true. I'm not here to lie to them. So listen, and this is the exact same phrase I use. If you're truly, genuinely interested, let's set up a video conference, okay? Let's set up a video conference, and I'll be more than happy to share any information I can with you. Then I get on the video conference, and obviously at that point in time, we do the full Zoom call, and we see the whole full 100% information. Guys, I've done this over and over and over and over and over and over again for the last 4 years, and the success rate is fantastic. In fact, just in the last, well, it's now mid-March, just this year, just from that method I just told you, with a few variables, right? Because not every situation is going to be exactly the same. With the few variables, I've enrolled since since January 1st, I've already enrolled 20 people from this method that I just told you. All of them platinum packs, 18 platinum packs, 1 gold, 1 silver, from what I just told you. Let me just give this caveat here. It does take patience, and there is a learning curve, and do not expect this to be gold money the very first few times that you try that. It might take you a few weeks, okay? Everything in business, everything in life has a learning curve in it. So I want to be very honest. I want to be very transparent to you, okay? So that's it, guys. That's it in a nutshell. Obviously, I have my team page too, which sounds like you guys have one. You understand what that's for, okay? So that's in a nutshell. Anyway, I could talk all night. Any questions? Or whatever you'd like to do, Lisa.
That was great. Yeah, if you've got a little time, I'm assuming your meeting got shifted?
I started at 6 and I got done by 6:30. So it was actually a follow-up. It was a follow-up of a social media person that we enrolled. And so it was just a follow-up call. So.
Oh, good. I appreciate it. Yeah, so if anybody wants any specific, questions, Jason's so wonderful. And I appreciate him. I don't want to abuse him, but, we've got a few pertinent questions, I'm sure. I was trying as quickly to write down your scripts so that I can, share them later, but
Sure.
Go for it, people. Unmute yourself and ask your question if you have one. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Tracy has a question. What else is new? Hi, Jason.
Hi,
I'm in more than one Facebook groups, and I have multiple sclerosis, so I'm in more than one multiple sclerosis group. And I go into those groups, and I do not talk about our product. I just encourage people and talk about our conditions because I have it, and I've lived with it for 23 years. Now, my question to you is, I love the idea about joining other groups because I'm interested in other things other than just multiple sclerosis. So I find that I get stuck in that Facebook never-ending land by looking at how many posts and things have been put on my page, and I look at it and do I answer this and do I answer that? So my question to you is, you said you go into these other groups and you share. How much do you do that? And
great question. So in the beginning, it took me a lot more time because I was trying to hone my skills and master it. Okay. Now, I believe I've mastered it. So I'm just going to say this. It takes me a total of about an hour to an hour and a half throughout the entire day. So not necessarily in a chunk of time, but an hour and a half throughout the whole entire day. So some of that is my initial comment, and then some of that is the follow-up throughout the entire day on those comments. All right, so listen, guys. Facebook is either going to be a tool that's going to help you, or it's going to be your worst enemy that's going to suck you in with the scroll like concept, right? So my suggestion is you've got to set yourself in a situation where you focus in on what you're looking for and don't get sidetracked by the stupid cat video. Okay, right? Because, hey, guys, I like a good cat video too, right? I do. But I'm there for business, and I want business income producing behaviors, right? And so I'm there for a mission. So that time that I have, I'm there for that purpose, and that's what I'm doing. Whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes, or whether it's an hour, that's what I'm doing. So you're saying, which ones do I pick on and which ones I don't? I don't care. Pick a few. It doesn't matter, right? But A, add value. B, do your hook statements. But if you're not going to add value, your hook statements are going to be toast. Let me give you a little insight as far as what happened to me with this. I've been part of this group. I've been giving value, giving value, giving value, giving value, giving value, hook statement. Giving value, giving value, giving value, hook statement. Probably 3, 4, 5 months in this group, I gave a hook statement. Now, I've been part of this group for a long time. This guy just totally tries calling me out, totally tries blasting me, totally tries saying, you're on here for sales. No, I actually enjoy, okay? I actually enjoy this, okay? Now, here's the deal. Because I've been in this group, other people started friend requesting me, right? Because I've been giving value for months. Well, when your friend requests happen and those friends are in that group, they see automatically when you post in that group, and they can click on your comment because that's how Facebook algorithms work, right? Well, one of the people that was in that group, right, saw that I posted, so they were curious what I said, so they went and looked at it, and lo and behold, it was the one where this guy tried calling me out. And, you know, my friend Brandon, he said, no, Jason is a cool guy. You stop trying to harass him for that. That's what he was saying on Facebook. He was now backing me up. Cool, huh? The only way that would have happened was because I gave the value in the group over time. Okay? If you just go into a group and start being a sales Nazi, I'm sorry, you're done. And they are going to call you out, and rightfully so. That's not good social media marketing, guys, and I don't encourage that. I think that's the worst thing that you can do for yourself, your business, and ultimately LifeVantage, okay? So I don't care what your group you get. I don't care what you comment on. Just make sure it's valuable. That's what I'm going to say about that, okay? There's no magic formula. Skip 2 posts, comment on the 3rd. I don't care which one you do. Just make sure it's profitable, okay? Any other questions?
Okay, Jason, I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
With your comments on posts and stuff like that, do you go through your notifications first to see exactly who commented on the stuff that you already posted? Or do you just go into your Facebook groups and see something that you like and comment on that and then add value to it as you go along?
I actually, honestly, I do both ways. I do both ways. So sometimes it depends on the conversation. If I know a particular post got a lot of traction, a particular comment got a lot of traction, I'll actually let it fan out for a little bit.
Okay.
Right? Because what that does is it starts, more people are commenting, which keeps pushing my particular post up, which means more people are going to see it.
Okay.
Here's the cool thing about that. So now at the very, 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 very bottom of that comment section, after maybe 10, 15, 20, 30 people have commented on it,
okay,
then here's a cool thing. Then I say, guys, I wasn't really planning to post everything about it on here because I just hate writing it all out.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore. And so you know what that just did? 20 or 30 people now saw that, which means now 20 or 30 people are curious, which now means there's a potential of 20, 30 people to now Facebook message me.
Chasing you. Okay.
So patience is key, guys. If
That's
I see
your takeaway too.
That's right.
Okay.
So here's the deal, guys. Sometimes you can just tell a particular conversation is dead in the water as soon as I bit one person and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one person to private message me and the rest are dead. Then I'm going to come back in there fairly quickly and make the key statement right then and there.
Okay.
But if it's the one that's moving, and sometimes they do keep traction, guys, wait. Be patient. And it might be even something that I don't do till later that night or maybe even the following morning.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
Good question. Good question.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Q, did you want to answer a question? Where are you?
Okay, so I do see the chat. I think this is the question. How do you see the material from groups that Facebook kicks out of your news feed because the algorithm? I don't care. And the reason why is because, guys, there are so many groups I'm a part of that every single one of these groups are doing the same thing. It's a habit of mankind, apparently on Facebook, to ask the same questions over and over. And here's the thing. Some of these groups literally will paste the same exact question by somebody else 3 to 4 times a day. But nobody reads. They just say, well, this is an ideal question. I guess I'll ask this, which was the same question that was literally asked 2 hours before. I've seen it where literally there is a 5-minute window from somebody else who literally just asked the same question 5 minutes ago. So here's the thing. There's just so many groups out there that I don't care if Facebook's algorithms hides them, because I'm part of so many different Facebook. And if there's one that I particularly really enjoy that I'm not seeing for a while, then what I do, and here's how to knock the algorithm back up, go into that group, comment, and then guess what's going to happen? Facebook is going to really start picking up on showing you that one. So if there's a particular group you really care for that you feel like you get more traction, just make sure you're getting in that group more often than the rest of the groups, and that's the one you stick with. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, and there's also the see first function too. Absolutely. You can certainly do it that way. If that's one that you really like, at the top of that particular group, guys, there is a click here to make sure that this one's always the first thing that you see. So you certainly can use that too. And yes, I do use that with a couple of the groups that I really, really, really enjoy. But again, there's a problem with that too, because if there's like 5 I really enjoy, then I have 5 see first, and now it just gets convoluted. Okay, so there's some negative aspects about that. Yeah, the less that you have, the better from that algorithm standpoint is fine. But I like a lot of groups because that means I get to spread the love a lot more. And I'm okay with that. Why I say 10,000 or more is because I don't mind getting lost either in the group. You see what I'm saying? I don't mind getting lost in the group, because if I have like 2,000 people in the group and I'm doing these hook statements, guess what's going to happen? They are going to notice the trend and pattern. That's why I said 10,000 or more. Okay? So that I have the ability to lose. Now, honestly, I don't do 100,000 more. So I stay between 10,000 and 100,000. I don't go above 100,000, because then I get way too lost and they don't get to see all my value comments that are going along with that.
That's good. That's good. Anybody else? Probably time for one more question, because then I got to head out in about 15, 20 minutes to go to the airport and pick up my husband.
And I actually have a meeting here shortly too, so
That'll work out perfect. Well, I'll just want to say thank you again so much. And actually, your comment about just being in groups that you are totally interested in. Like, I'm in a few different groups, but they're like the weight loss category, other biohacking categories and stuff like that. So I do find it difficult for myself sometimes, especially in the weight loss one. It's like, okay, because I had the wrong mindset, plain and simple. I'll be honest, you know. So to actually get into groups that you are like your hobbies, things that you're genuinely interested in, and paying attention and seeing those comments when people start to ask, and that one-liner hook, I think that was powerful. So thank you.
Absolutely. I do see one more. Well, maybe it's a question here. Lori says, how would you add on the multiple social media groups? At what point would you add another group to merge? How many different ones would you build? So this is what I've learned. Sometimes the conversation in a particular group just goes stale. And in other words, that conversation in that particular group no longer is really about underwater basket weaving. Sometimes that happens. Not a lot, but sometimes it does happen. Now, guys, does your interest grow the older you get? Sure. So the older I get, there's other things that interest me, because I start talking to cool people like you, and all of a sudden you start telling me about something that you enjoy, and that starts intriguing me. So I'm like, I want to go learn about that, right? So then I go join a group, and that's how I do it. So there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason of when I join or when I don't join. If there's something that happens to pop up that I'm thinking, that interests me, then I might join that group. But I'm not like actively hunting every single day for a new group. I mean, I might look at a new group or two maybe once every 2 months, frankly. Okay? So hopefully that was helpful. Okay? All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Totally appreciate it. And I'll get the recording and stuff, and I'll actually kind of go back and listen and try to transcribe your scripts, so to speak.
Awesome.
To add that to our group.
Thank you for the privilege, and thank you everyone else for allowing me to be on here too as well. I certainly enjoyed being with you all tonight.
Great. Well, it is 9:30 and it's been 45 minutes. Jason, if you want to pop on off, thank you again so much. And I'll just basically wrap this up and call it a night. Awesome. So I will end recording. And actually, give me a second. I want to peek at if there was anything more pertinent that I really wanted to share. I did that. No, that was it actually, because the other stuff that I was going to share was basically the skill sets, you know, our basic stuff, regardless as to whether you're on social media, face to face, you know, group meetings, things like that. So I think Jason did a great job, you guys, and see you next Sunday.
Thanks, Lisa.